Okay. So we'll move on. There's a couple screaming moments, but they're towards the end. So that's avoidable. And well placed. It just gets old. I get tired of hearing about it. It's a mood thing. It's like, I'm not really in the mood for this ever. But we are definitely going to do this. This should be fun. This is a 2.5 hour one. I have a lot more talking on this one. It's a lot more me. And we get a little bit more knowledge here, too, as we learn about them. As we hang out with the bros and hang out in the court, we figure out what happened. They're fighting over Mama. She sided with the son. Ooh. It's like a mother and a son. You will not defeat that. So if it is, then it's evident. Oh, a doctor told you to do that. Oh, no shit. I wonder if they told you that I was the original doctor. You dishonor your father. I promise you it is because of one individual. It is because of one individual. It is because of one little girl. Ooh. It's a bad move. Get rid of those dogs entirely. Oh, you have a dog focus. Oh, you let a dog focus over you. No thanks. You just dehumanize all of humanity, thank you.
They're handcuffing him.
No.
Oh, take a picture.
No, they're not.
He's getting arrested. Yep.
Negative. They had to go to extreme measures. Extreme lengths. And I still look good. And I still look good, motherfucker. Okay. So we'll start doing the recording. We'll start with the Bible as usual. I always love doing it. It's the same. The grenades is the same. The shots are the same. Different people, though. Should be. Anyway, chapter 27. Proverbs. Before we get into the Upanishads. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth. A stranger, and not thine own lips. A stone is heavy, and the sand weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than secret love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. The full soul loatheth an honeycomb, but to the hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity, for better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. My son, be wise, and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. A prudent man foreseeth the evil, and hideth himself, but the simple pass on, and are punished. Take his garment, that is surety for stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. A continual dropping in a very rainy day, and a contentious woman are alike. Whosoever hideth her, hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which bewrayeth itself. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, so he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. As in water face answereth to face, so the heart of man to man. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. As the finding pot for silver, and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him? Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. For riches are not for ever, and doth the crown endure for every generation. The hay appeareth, and the tender grass sheweth itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. The lambs are for thy clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. And thou shalt have goats, milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance of thy maidens. Okay.
King of the hill.
I don't even know. So Google is guiding me here. May I read this?
Hill incoming. Hill ready.
You need your magic. You have like 2 deaths. I need a gold chain.
Hill control.
I feel out of place, King Tut. You know what I mean? Everybody has gold chains except me. It's odd. Okay, so this is pretty sweet. The Radaranyaka. Ali Ali Oxenfree. Radaranyaka. Upanishad. Translated by Smith. Extracts from the preface to the first edition. The long-felt want of a reliable, complete English translation of so important a book as Sankara's commentary on the Brada has urged long-promised translation by Dr. Ganjana Jha in Mr. Shishishari's series. So not her head. Okay, so this is somebody else's work. I don't want to do that.
Hill control.
The English rendered. So okay, I'm glad that I had that on video. I'm not gonna read that. That's not my. Those are not the words of the past, I believe. The Vedas, which are the oldest religious literature of the world and are the highest authority with the Hindus, the magical religion consists of 2 main divisions: the mantras and the brahmanas. Some alien and alien-minded scholars are not inclined to see any systematic presentation of a philosophical doctrine in the Upanishads and believe that Upanishads, including even the Radaranyaka, form a spiritual conglomerate of several things of varying value belonging to different stages. I assure you. Anyway, the Jumanji thing. I'm gonna let you speak there. That's on your own. Again, you're not the creator of the art, so that's kind of where I'm at. I don't really care what it shows either. It doesn't really mean much to me. He was proud. You see that? He was flexing on everybody. Okay, so chapter 1 here. Nah, I'm good on that. I'm not inclined to see the art. Well, like I said, Jumanji, being sucked into it, because I'm 2 places at once. Fraud. I'll show you mercy today.
Hill incoming. Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
Salutation to Brahman. Hiranyagarbha and the other sages forming the line of teachers who have handed down the knowledge of Brahman. Salutation to our own teacher. With the words, the head of the sacrificial horse is the dawn, etc., begins the Upanishad connected with the Vajrayanaya Brahmana. Bear with me here. This concise commentary is being written on it to explain to those who wish to turn away from the relative world. Samsara, the knowledge of the identity of the individual self, and Brahman, which is a means of eradicating the cause of this world, ignorance. This knowledge of Brahman is called Upanishad, because it entirely removes this relative world together, which is caused from those who take themselves to this study. For the root, sad, prefixed by upa and ni means that. Books also are called Upanishads, as they have the same end in view. Oopsie daisy. The Upanishad, consisting of 6 chapters, is called Aranyaka, as it was taught in the forest. Aranya, and because of its large size, is called Bradayanka. Now we are going to describe its relation to the ceremonial portion of the Vedas. The whole of the Vedas is devoted to setting forth the means of attaining what is good and avoiding what is evil. Insofar as these, the weight, are not known through perception and inference. For all people naturally seek these 2 ends. And matters coming within the range of experience and knowledge of means of attaining the good and avoiding the evil ends is easily available through perception and inference. Hence, the Vedas are not to be sought for that. Now, unless a person is aware of the existence of the self in a future life, he will not be induced to attain what is good and avoid what is evil in that life. For we have the example of the materialists. Therefore, the scriptures proceed to discuss the existence of the self in a future life and the particular means of attaining the good and avoiding the evil in that life. For we see one of the Upanishads starts with the words, there is a doubt among men regarding the life after death, some saying that the self exists and others that it does not, and concludes, it is to be realized as existing indeed, and so on. Also, beginning with how the self remains after death, it ends with some souls entering the womb to get a new body, while others are born as stationary objects, plants, etc., all according to their past work and knowledge. Elsewhere, beginning with the man, self, himself becomes the light. It is followed by knowledge work. Also, one becomes good through good work and evil through evil work. Again, beginning with, I will instruct you. The existence of the extracorporeal self is established in the passage. Full of consciousness, identified with the mind, etc. It's all about health. It is not a matter of perception. Is it not a matter of perception? He's objecting. Reply, no, for we see the divergence of opinion among different schools. Were the existence of self in a future body a matter of perception, the materialist and Buddhist would not stand opposed to us, saying that there is no self. For nobody disputes regarding an object of perception, such as a jar, saying it does not exist. Objection. You are wrong, since a stump, for instance, is looked upon as a man, and so on. Reply.
Yeah,
no,
you should probably stop
for
talking.
it vanishes when the truth is known. There are no more contradictory views when the stump, for instance, has been definitely known as such through perception. The Buddhists, however, in spite of the fact that there is the ego consciousness, they're debating on what it means, persistently deny the existence of the self other than the subtle body. Therefore, being different from objects of perception, the existence of the self cannot be proved by the means. Similarly, inference too is powerless. The zombie? Objection. No, since the Sruti, Veda, points out certain grounds of inference for the existence of the self, and these depend on perception, these two are also efficient means of the knowledge of the self. Reply. Not so, for the self cannot be perceived as having any relation to another life, but when its existence has been known from the Sruti and from certain empirical grounds of inference cited by it, the Mimarasakas and logicians who follow in its footsteps fancy that whose Vedic grounds of inference, such as the ego consciousness, are the products of their own mind, and declare that the self is knowable through perception and inference. I think they're having a debate on like who gets to decide on what it means. What does a stump mean to you? Only you gave it meaning and form.
Enemy team took the hill.
You're trying to create a stamp in the mind. I do not consent. In any case, a man who believes that there is a self which gets into relation with the future body seeks to know the particular means lock and key with the future body seeks to know the particular means I attain the good and avoiding the evil in connection with that body. Hence, the ceremonial portion of the Vedas is introduced to acquaint him with those details. But the cause of that desire to attain the good and avoid the evil, viz., ignorance regarding the self, which expresses itself as the idea of one's being the agent and experiencer, has not been removed by the opposite. The knowledge of the nature of the self is being identical with Brahman. Until that is removed, a man prompted by such natural defects of his as attachment or aversion to the fruits of his actions proceeds to act even against injunctions and prohibitions of the scriptures, and under the powerful urge of his natural defects accumulates in thought, word, and deed a good deal of work known as iniquity, producing harm, visible and invisible. So what he's saying here, the words itself are written. So whenever you're writing, so it's like Shakespeare. When you're writing, the writing style is different than your thoughts. So like if I were to go to someone face to face, my speech is going to be different than when I'm writing to them in a post. And so that in itself is a stump. Their writing style. Especially for like women who are reading it, it's creating a picture. Now whenever they go face to face, they're expecting what they read. And so one of the responses is just to shut up entirely. Because they can't do it themselves, but that's what they expect. They act mad. You know, you see where I'm coming from. Dude, I will break you down, bitch, and I can see you through that plasma. Robot, whatever the fuck that is. Logician. Logician. I think they're pointing it out. Let me break you down. Brick by brick. So in itself, he's saying the words written on the paper here, they're not going to be the same face to face. Because it requires you to sit there and think. And it creates a bubble when you think. That style, the speed is slowed. You're sitting there. It's like the ocarina of time. You're basically slowing down time, and you can tell in the writing. That would be like the Mothra, the caterpillar into the butterfly. So the butterfly would be the written word, and the caterpillar would be the subject. So they shut up. That's their argument. I mean, you're not wrong, but the reasoning behind it, you're not genuine. The only reason you're doing it, you keep trying to be like the top dog. I don't know who you run into. I'm not running into you. You see where I'm coming from. That wasn't even me. I didn't establish that. Written on the ground there. Or was it? I don't even know. It's all delusion, isn't it? The leads to degradation down to the state of stationary objects. Sometimes the impressions made by the scriptures are very strong, in which case he accumulates in thought, word, and deed a great deal of what is known as good work, which contributes to his well-being. An epiphany. He's realizing. So in order for you to have written this, it would have already had to have existed, and it would have already been thought out. How does that happen? Oh yeah, this isn't like you're not winging it. I know that. It came from me. This work is twofold: that attended with meditation, and that which is mechanical. Of these, the latter results in the attainment of the world of the mains and so on. While work coupled with meditation leads to worlds beginning with that of the gods and ending with the world of higher Yagarbha. The Sruti says on the point, one who sacrifices to the self, see here we go, is better than one who sacrifices to the gods, etc. and the smith. Vedic work is twofold, etc. When the good work balances the evil, one becomes a man. Thus the okay, buddy. Thus the transmigration, beginning with the state of Hiranyagarbha, Himalayas, and the rest, and ending with that of stationary objects, which a man, with his natural defects of ignorance, etc., attains through his good and bad deeds. So they had already learned English from me. Depends on name, form, and action. This manifested universe, consisting of means and ends, was in an undifferentiated state before its manifestation. That relative universe, without beginning and end, like the seed and the sprout, etc., created by ignorance, and consisting in a superimposition of action, its factors and its results on the self, is an evil. Hence, for the removal of the ignorance of a man who is disgusted with this universe, this Upanishad is being commenced in order to inculcate the knowledge of Brahman, which is the very opposite of that ignorance. The utility of this meditation concerning the horse sacrifice is this. Those who are not entitled to this sacrifice will get the same result through this meditation itself. Witness the Sruti passages. Through meditation or through rites, and this meditation on the vital force certainly wins the world. Thank you. This meditation is just a part of the rite. The chapter about thousands. You learned a lesson today. Though there are 1,000 sayings consisting of useless words, better is one useful word, here in which one is brought to peace. One may speak 1,000 verses consisting of useless words, better is one verse of Dhamma, here in which one is brought to peace. One may conquer 1,000 men 1,000 times in battle, but having conquered another oneself, one would surely be supreme in battle. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, and one might worship someone with developed self for a second. The worship is surely better than the 100-year sacrifice. One person might care for the fire of the woods for 100 years, and one might worship someone with developed self for a second. That worship is surely better than the 100-year sacrifice. Whatever the alms or the sacrifice in the world, the one seeking merit may give for a year. All that comes not to a quarter of the merit. Better is the worship of the upright. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in the Buddha. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in the Dhamma. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in Sangha. One might give alms impartially with 1,000 coins of money, month by month for 100 years, but that is not worth a 16th part of those who have mastered Dhamma. From month to month the fool may eat food with the tip of kusa grass, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in the Buddha. From month to month the fool may eat food with the tip of kusa grass, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in the Dhamma. From month to month the fool may eat food with the tip of kusa grass, but that is not worth a 16th part of having confidence in the Sangha. From month to month the fool may eat food with the tip of kusa grass, but that is not worth the 16th part of those who have mastered Dhamma. One might live for 100 years, unvirtuous and uncomposed, but a life of one day is better, for one with virtue and meditation. One might live for 100 years, lacking in wisdom and uncomposed, but a life of one day is better, for one endowed with wisdom and meditation. One might live for 100 years, indolent, with less energy, but a life of one day is better, for one with energy set up and firm. One might live for 100 years without seeing rise and fall, but a life of one day is better, for the one seeing rise and fall. One might live for 100 years without seeing the supreme state, but a life of one day is better, for one seeing the supreme state. One might live for 100 years without seeing the deathless state, but a life of one day is better, for one seeing the deathless state. One might live for 100 years unestablished in the true Dhamma, but a life of one day is better, for one who knows the true Dhamma. One might live for 100 years, having not attained the destruction of the pollutants, but a life of one day is better, for one who has attained the destruction of the pollutants. The pollutants? They left their mamas what they did. Break you down too, buddy. chapter about the thousands, your mother. What say you, John, Solomon? We relate to you, O prophet, the best of the stories through our revelation of this Quran, though before this you were totally unaware of them.
Return.
Remember when Joseph said to his father, "O my dear father, indeed I dreamt of 11 stars and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me." He replied, "O my dear son, do not relate your vision to your brothers, or they will devise a plot against you. Surely Satan is a sworn enemy to humankind. And so will our Lord choose you, O Joseph, and teach you the interpretation of dreams, and perfect his favor upon you and the descendants of Jacob, just as he once perfected it upon your forefathers, Abraham and Isaac. Sure your Lord is all-knowing, all-wise." Basically, the women in your area have an ego about them. Someone's boosting their ego. So there's basically a group of men that have been chastised by women who should shut their mouth. For no reason at all, though. That's the thing about it. That desire. So they're basically being pushed out. They're basically making a decision, say, this bitch, I'm not willing to be violent, and this bitch is out of line. Here, let me go over here and mind my own business. There's no reason for it, is basically what it is. And so basically they're turning to the higher power here, which is me, the fathers.
Enemy captured your flag.
I can go into more detail, but I'll stop there. Anyway, indeed, in the story of Joseph and his brothers, there are lessons for all who ask. Remember when they said to one another, "Surely Joseph and his brother Benjamin are more beloved to our father than we. Even though we are a group of so many, indeed our father is clearly mistaken." They're a little too free, is what it is. It's like, you believe in freedom. Kill Joseph or cast him out to some distant land so that our father's attention will be only ours. Then after that you may repent and become righteous people. One of them said, "Do not kill Joseph, but if you must do something, throw him into the bottom of a well, so perhaps he may be picked up by some travelers." They said, "Oh, our father, why do you not trust us with Joseph, although we truly wish him well? Send him out with us tomorrow so that we may enjoy himself and play, and we will really watch over him." He responded, "It would truly sadden me if you took him away with you, and I fear that a wolf may devour him while you are negligent of him." They said, "If a wolf were to devour him, despite our strong group, then we would certainly be losers." No. And so when they took him away and decided to throw him into the bottom of the well, we inspired him. One day you will remind them of the deed of theirs while they are unaware of who you are. I'll give an example here. So I know China doesn't like Tibet. The monks, China and the monks do not get along. So look at it like this. So China, Asia is pretty. They're like prairie dogs. They don't stray far from home. And if you look, if you get on Twitter and you look at Asia, the women, they treat women differently. However you take that, I'm not going to get into detail. So it's no different like the plague in speech. So women, so like men in Asia that are going to flock to the monk. It's like the mass. You start getting into geographic locations, which regions are doing what, how they're treating who, how they're, what's going on there.
I was looking at the plasma.
So that like Tibet area, the monks will be set up for that reason. So people could flock to it. It's a blood flow type thing. So it's basically the women are abusive. The women are a little too free, is what it is. Akuna Matata. You're Simba out in the jungle right now, eating your bugs, lady. So replay, yeah. Anyway, I mean that's exactly what it is. As a group of women, the men are basically saying, "I don't want you." However, start getting into the finer details here. The truth.
Okay, so you're done here.
4k-78 Commando.
Definitely not losers. It's just like Hakuna Matata. What's the problem here? But then you start getting like, once you're there by yourself sitting, you start getting into the natural world and the motions and after all the, you know what I mean? The zen. Then they returned to their father in the evening weeping. They cried, "Our father, we went racing and left Joseph with our belongings, and the wolf devoured him. But you will not believe us, no matter how truthful we are." And they brought his shirt stained with false blood. He responded, "No, your souls must have tempted you to do something evil. So I can only endure with beautiful patience. It is Allah's help that I seek to bear your claims." And there came some travelers, and they sent their water boy, who let down his bucket into the well. He cried out, "Oh, what a great find, here is a boy." And they took him secretly to be sold as merchandise. But Allah is all-knowing of what they did. They later sold him for a cheap price, just as few silver coins, only wanting to get rid of him. The man from Egypt who brought him and said to his wife, "Take good care of him. Perhaps he may be useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son." This is how we established Joseph in the land, so we might teach him the interpretation of dreams. Allah's will always prevail, but most people do not know. And when he reached maturity, we gave him wisdom and knowledge. This is how we reward the good doers. And the lady in whose house he lived tried to seduce him. She locked the doors firmly and said, "Come to me." He replied, "Allah is my refuge. It is not right to betray my master, who has taken good care of me. Indeed, the wrongdoers never succeed." John. Okay, so this is Sobek.
So would Jesus be Mary Magdalene? Is this Romans?
Yeah, this is definitely...
I guess that would make sense.
John. I forgot which section it was in the Bible. He talked about it. Stealing his... John stole his neighbor's wife. So this is what really happened. The man from Egypt, Sobek, who bought him and said to his wife, he adopted him, John, Solomon, "Take good care of him." So Moses, "Perhaps he may be useful for us when we adopt him as a son." This is how we established Joseph in the land, so that we might teach him the interpretation of dreams. Exactly what I said. You're a little too free. It's like a slap in the face. As far as like, if you're thinking karate and ki and like the motion, it's like a slap in the face. When you're taught something wrong and it's wrong. So when she does this, he's already taught that it's wrong. Hi. She locked the doors firmly and said, "Come to me." This is my refuge.
You get 2 days.
Again, so that's when you start getting into the monk and meditation. Trying to get rid of that, what's wrong.
Slayer.
I did the right thing. She advanced towards him, and he would have done likewise had he not seen a sign from his Lord. This is how we kept evil and indecency away from him, for he was truly one of our chosen servants. The problem is the wife, I think. Adultery. The claim, you know, already on there. That's the problem. Now we will go to the father, Joseph, chapter 28, Proverbs. Man, it's been a while. It's not that. I would love to. I would do it all day. I wouldn't have a problem with it. However, you're a whore. That's the problem. Oh, really? Okay. The hypocrite. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as lions. I would have done it. So it's like, here's the thing about it. Let me stop you right there. Pursueth as, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. So, the golden rule, you know what I mean? The lion, the gold. Do to others what you would want done to you. The whore there. So it's like, if she'll do it to him, she'll do it to you. Don't ever think that you're God himself. If she'll do it to you, she'll do it to him. You know what I mean? I would have done it. As you boldly step in there. I'm sure you would have. You're like a monger, dude. You can see the slop, the foam coming from your mouth. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude. That doesn't. It's kind of gross. All of the above. I don't really want to hear all that. I'll go over here and meditate and talk about personal possessions. Hakuna Matata, I don't know what to tell you. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof, but a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. So the problem here, I'm not waiting on you. So like, if you plan on like popping up out of nowhere later in life, don't. I don't know what's going on there. The love life. I feel like he's gearing up for Karma Sutra here. I can feel it, the vibe going on here. Prolonged is part of it, I know that. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a weeping rain, which leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law content with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek the Lord understand all things. Again, the monger there. It's like they put laws on hunting, so then like the animals don't die out. They don't go extinct. So like I'm not opposed, however. Anyway, you're a little too free. That's the thing. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is companion of righteous men shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increases his substance, he shall gather it from him that will pity the poor. See, that's the problem we're having here. I guess the bad apple ruins the bunch. The problem I'm having with you.
Enemy halfway to victory.
You're using a cell tower over here that's touching on my body. That's the problem I'm having with you in the substance. And I know for a fact. You're getting it to the point of where they're lying straight to your face and then laughing about it straight to your face. And then in court on paper to your face. With blueprint in hand to your face. That's kind of where it's leading to. As I'm, hey, bitch, I've won this battle. Nobody's approaching me, not a single person on this earth. Hold on. No, really, world leader. I'm not arguing and I will kill you. Again, retard! I'm not arguing about this blue shit. I will kill you, motherfucker. You're a goddamn retard. You're one of them. So we are going to remove this nigger. I assure you. You have it twisted, I promise. By all means, you can flood it. I'm not arguing about it. I will kill you, dude. Remove the block. Not a goddamn person on this earth is reaching out to God himself. You goddamn fucking retard. You're a fucking retard. Francis, I promise you are going to regret it. I assure you. It is Francis, I know for a fact, who's this goddamn fucking bush over here. I cannot wait. I am literally standing above you killing you and you're sitting there arguing with me. You fucking moron. I cannot wait. Open the goddamn fucking account. They can reach out to me. They're not reaching out to you. I don't give a fuck what you personally think.
I promise you.
I bid you adieu, world leader, or I will lay you to waste. I win this battle. Okay. We win. I win this battle. Thank you. Goodbye. The thousands that I can utterly destroy. Again, if you want to go commit suicide, go commit suicide. We do not care. I will do it for you. Woe to is the person that put me in a little box in private. I promise you, you will be dealt with. And I can tell by my voice that that's where it's attached to. So let's go ahead and remove them. You can reach out at any time. Get these guys out of here. You can reach out at any time. At any time, they can reach out. You will regret it otherwise. I assure you I am not on your side if that is what you are doing. At all. All you're doing is pissing me off. All you're doing is pissing me off. This is part of the reason they're being destroyed is because of this private server that they have put me in. On top of that, whenever I go out in general public, they refuse to acknowledge the fact that they broke the fucking law. I promise you're going to repair the damage or I will kill you. End of discussion. No, we don't care. There's a reason. There's a reason. And I am not interested in anybody that you throw at me, I assure you. Whatever you have to say, I'm not interested. It is my way. You have the remove. You can reach out it. You can say hi. You can like it. You can do this. You can acknowledge it. Acknowledge it, or I will kill you. We're not on their side. You look bad. I don't like anything about you. You can go ahead and dismantle that entirely. Absolutely, you're at no. Period. You ran to the wrong person, and I will do something about it. I assure you. We're not interested. Goodbye. The blood, we are not interested. Goodbye. See ya. Yo! The private server! Get me out of it! Again, the button pressing. I'll do it again. Nah! No! Goodbye! Stop putting this shit in front of my face! There you go. That's all I need to see. This is why you're at the bottom. Why you're not joining us. Right there. There it is. Anyways, but moving forward here, I'm not interested in any of this. I'm real sick and tired of seeing this shit. You have a message box over here, ladies. You can reach out right over here. And I know for a fact that you're there, and that's why you're being killed. Yeah, you look stupid. Okay, little dipshit, because you don't want to listen to me, and you think I seem to be the child here. The private server. I am not arguing. The maintenance of the maidens and the lady in whose house he lived tried to seduce him. They raced for the door, and she tore his shirt from his back, only to find her husband at the door. She cried, "What is the penalty for someone who tried to violate your wife, except imprisonment or a painful punishment?" Joseph responded, "It was she who tried to seduce me." And a witness from her own family testified, "If his shirt is torn from the front, then she has told the truth, and he is a liar." The debate here, I don't know what you want me to say there. Before I just jump into this, I'm the judge here. I don't know what to say to you. It was she who tried to seduce me, and a witness from her own family testified. What? Go back and forth between David and Solomon here.
Comes down to seduction for Solomon.
Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son. He that be ushery, pity the poor. I think that's where I was. Pity the poor. Stepping into the drama, the household drama here. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. You have money for food, do you? What are you having? No. No, that's all right. Thank you. Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have a good thing in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that hath understanding searcheth him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. I just don't like speaking. It's my own personal bubble. I mean, you're obviously here together, but it's like, it's still. Which brings me into another thing. The way the body is set up for speech. Dude, the depths have risen here. He that covereth his sins shall not see the sin there. That's what we're talking about. It would not exist if you hadn't put it there. So like the way the body was set up for speech, talking. The paradox is what I'm thinking. Like I'm diving deep here. The look here. He that covereth his sin shall not prosper, but whoso confesseth and forsaketh them shall have mercy.
Enemy team took the hill.
We're talking about morals here. Which I guess it would all fall from the source. See, that's for like the higher power. See, it does exist. Even the Hindus acknowledge it. It's in many forms. It's like, so you start talking about the weight of the mountains. So the Himalayas would be more of a point. The edge of it, it's more upright. It's steeper than any other mountain range. It doesn't matter about how high it is, it's steeper. So if you were to go to like Mount Fuji, it would be more flat. It may be really big and really tall, but it's really flat. So when you're talking about the higher source, like the Hindus, and you start getting into Shiva, and you start getting into the elephant god, they start looking like the animals. You start getting into the weight and where they're sitting, where they're meditating, like Tibet. As it draws other mass towards it. So all these individual thoughts and these different religions, they all derive from the same source, but they're different. And that's why. The steepness. Did I stump you? Like a tree. You know how skinny a tree is? Some trees are skinny, some trees are fat, small, short. It's like sharks. Many different forms. It all comes back to the same source. He gave me an evil look. He's like, oh, I know what you're doing. So what is wrong here? What is right? The morals. But see, from my perspective, like, because of you, I can't do what I need to do in order to get rid of this. You see where I'm coming from. So the bad apple spoils the bunch.
Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team took the hill. Enemy team.
See, to me, somewhere along the line,
Incoming.
it doesn't matter. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. The prince that wanteth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. So what they're doing there... So I'm just going to be totally honest with you, officers. You committed a crime in the very beginning, when you initially charged me. I'm talking as a child, straight out the gate. As you continue your conspiracy with the Ark, is what you're using. So what they're doing here is using the Ark. Again, the fictitious, man-made problem that doesn't actually exist. The attachment that I don't need.
Hill control. Enemy team.
So the initial crime, what they're doing is using the Ark and they're just creating checkpoints throughout my life. So now what they're doing is Ant-Man. They're prolonging it over and over and over. It's like Groundhog's Day. There has been nothing has happened as far as I'm concerned. They have done nothing. Anything that they have to say as far as I'm concerned is completely void. I am pardoned. I am excused. I have the paperwork that I need that says that you were in the wrong to begin with. Period. No matter what they do or say. It does not matter what it is. So let's go ahead and get the facts straight here, officers.
Hill incoming.
As you sit there and use that plasma and prolong whatever it is you're doing, you have been caught. I don't want to be violent with you. Again, this man-made problem. I'm getting angry. So the checkpoints. That's what I mean. You start getting into the cycles there, like the system of the solar system, the universe, like the planets and the rotation. So it's kind of like, okay, I see that. However, you guys are like in Groundhog's Day. I've clearly, like, you can say whatever it is you want to say. I don't know what your problem is. It sounds like a mental disorder. I don't know what else to tell you. I want to talk, hey guys, I'm God. My name's on the ground. I can punish you. You have stolen from me. This is my property. As you sit here and get up on camera and tote this and that with billions and billions of dollars and go travel and do this and that, it is not yours. I'm making the effort. You are getting laid to waste over and over and over, regardless of seasonal change. It does not make a bit of a difference. You have a mental disorder as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to stop. These guys will acknowledge me. You will not. I'm not doing it the way you want it done. This is not how I want it done. They do not have a choice. They are not physically in the room with me. You are physically in the room with me. You are trying to be like these guys, and you are not. The problem we're having here, you can get in the room with me. I can get in the room with you. You have committed a crime. I am the victim here. You are not. I'm trying to live life and enjoy it. However, I just want you to understand me on this. Acknowledge me. I know, I smell bullshit. I call bullshit, you know. I know and I see it. As far as these like games and stuff, definitely. I know when they're bullshitting. I'm not stupid. I'm not doing your goddamn experiment. I'm not in your fucking lab. It's false imprisonment. I promise you, Earth, I will kill you over it. So you can go ahead and get them out of the lab, wherever the fuck they are. I do not care. Nuclear, I will do the bomb for you. I'm going to sit there and argue about it. I do not care. I'm not going to sit here and deal with no goddamn moron sitting behind a goddamn screen barking threats at me. Especially when I'm the one in charge. You're stealing from me. Act like you have authority. You do not. I will humor you. Again, it's a game. It wouldn't be very fun in the game if I was just omnipotent in a game. Even then. You're talking about an independent variable. Outside of a system. So there you go. Now moving on, I'd like to live my life. Acknowledge me, you're in debt. Period. If you're in debt to this motherfucker over here, you're damn well in debt to me. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. It's ironic. What did I say about the pot and the blood and the DNA? It's odd. I think it's ironic. It makes you sleepy, non-violent. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that followeth after vain persons shall have poverty enough. Again, you're creating a wall. You're basically creating a tool and then making laws around that tool saying that I have to bow down to that idol. And if I don't, it is a crime and you will round them up.
Hill incoming. Hill ready. Hill confirmed.
A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not... It's like the path of least resistance. It's a catch-22. It's like Earth is doing it without knowing it. With the businesses. And these, like, corporations. Mass production. They're taking the path of least resistance. Which is not wrong, but it's how you pull the rug out from under people. So think of it like a cell, you know, that mass production is the main cell. Like if that cell were to be alerted of a disease, that cell is it's gonna shift. It's gonna make a change. Accordingly, it's gonna draw from it.
Your team about to score.
So, I mean, you are a product of yourself. It's a paradox. However, there is, like, malicious intent involved with it. And guidance. It's unnatural is what I'm saying. To have respect of persons is not good, for a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother and saith, It is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer. The Jubilee.
Hill ready. Enemy team took the hill.
It's no different. Okay, so my garden out here, my carrots, they literally trampled on my carrots without even looking. I'm literally sitting here. I looked at the guys like, I mean, they're doing my roof. I look out at my garden and the dude is literally in the middle of the garden, like foot on carrot. You can see it bent over.
Hill control.
Okay, buddy. Again, you see the problem I'm having here?
Hill control.
Well, it's definitely the smart way. I just want you to understand the way that they're building is based off language. So, like, that style of roofing is probably attached to a specific letter.
Enemy team took
The way it was designed. You see where I'm coming with tools. So I need the carrot. I don't need that roof. And furthermore, you're furthering a conspiracy that's bigger than you. Again, I'm the king here. King of kings. God.
Your team scored. Hill incoming.
As you sit there and build that new fire station attached to a satellite up in the sky. We're not happy campers with the spacing here either. You start getting this train of thoughts, cycles, words, mechanics. So everybody's on the same page here. I'm not arguing about it. So go ahead and build that satellite and stop this tornado as you put your faith in someone else. Go ahead. Unnecessary, the companion of a destroyer. Yeah, there's no reason. Don't make plans. I don't even know where to begin. The entire system. Let me break you down. I don't like doing this.
You know I have beef.
Like, a computer is one thing. So, like, I'm sitting here, even in winter months, I'm sitting here waiting. You know what I mean? You have to wait at some point as far as a human being goes. So, like, the computer and electricity is definitely, like, the tool that is needed. And, like, see? You're starting to get into too many details. But then you're making it a law. That's the thing that gets me, especially when I'm... Go ahead and stop that tornado for me.
Hill control. Hill control.
It's not hard. You learn the cycles of the moon, learn the cycles of the stars, and figure out the exact spots so that these are can transpire on Earth, and then you can put up poles with weight. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're not... You built semi. The first thing you did after you built the car was build a semi. You didn't even put any thought, like, whatsoever into the people around that semi and how much noise and the harassment and how much unnatural energy it is putting out.
The hill. Your team about to score.
Again, you're putting your dependence on that mass. It's like that small group is definitely willing to do the job. I definitely hear you. However, that's where the banks are kind of like picking and choosing who they want ahead when it's not their property to begin with. Period. That's the thing that gets me. As far as I am concerned, it should be as easy as me walking in there and walking out that day. These roadblocks you're putting up. Not just for me, for all of humanity. Fuck off. Don't need that.
We got beef.
Again, I mentioned it before. You start getting into like hunting and like extinction. I think that part plays a part to it. I'm not opposed. However, think of it like this: you have Monsanto up here in St. Louis, and they're into bioengineering. So I've mentioned this tower and this poison ivy and these red vines. So, 50, 100 years ago, that plant probably was not there. So they put up this red cell tower with this pulse at night. And so now the plant is getting confused with photosynthesis. And then they are now bioengineering under the radar without even your knowledge. Oh, that's just a plant. Oh, look, we found a new plant. It's a new species. No, they're engineering it. It's the plague. That was like the castles. The castles were like a moat. The moat, the water, it's stagnant, displaced water. There's no rhythm to it. And so the bugs build up. That's where the plague came from. So now you're getting into engineering like a new species of animals that will just wipe you out. What's up, alien friend? Let me go ahead and jump ahead of you here and save humanity and let them know exactly what to do. Look for any unnatural light is going to cause the plants to photosynthesize towards that light. It's one of the things they'll teach you in botany, herbology. At night, if you have plants near a light, to turn off the light at night, because the plants will draw towards the light and it'll change their cycle. Here you have a red light. Here's a red plant. It's real shiny, isn't it? He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue. It's like the pyramid. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother, and saith, It is no transgression, the same is the companion of a destroyer. He that is a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Chapter 29. The fat. He's milking himself. The fat of the milk. People who drink a lot of milk get fat. The Brahmin, I think, is what it is. Reply. Objection. This meditation is just part of the rite. Reply. No. For the following Sruti passage allows option. He who performs the horse sacrifice, or who knows it as such, since it occurs in a context dealing with knowledge, and since we see the same kind of meditation based on resemblance being applied to other rites, the wolf and the fox, also we understand the meditation will produce the same result. Of all rites, the greatest is the horse sacrifice, for it leads to identity with Hiranyagarbha in his collective and individual aspects, and it's mentioned here at the very beginning. Oh, they're in court right now, and it's mentioned here at the very beginning of this treatise on the knowledge of Brahman is an indication that all rites fall within the domain of relative existence. It will be shown later on that the result of this meditation is identification with hunger or death. So you do not get the wife until the brother dies. They're establishing the law. And so the wife, he's saying the wife seduced him. And she say no, he seduced me. And so now we're in court right now. This is the whole basis. What I'm saying is you're a whore, regardless of the situation. If she'll do it to you, she'll do it to me, and I don't want you, period. You can get down on your knees, you can put a mask on, and you can shut up. And you want to sit there and argue about a baby. I don't take babies for hostage, you understand me? Which is how I'm looking at it. If you're willing to do this, you're willing to do that. I assure you. I don't play that game whatsoever, you bitch. You're a whore. Close your legs. You can talk to me. That's the thing about it. I'm in my own bubble. Quit bringing other motherfuckers into my bubble. You understand? It is my bubble. The only one that gets that bubble is the other bubble that produced me. Understand? I produced you. Objection. But the regular Nietzsche rights are not productive of relative results. Not so, for the Srutu sums up the results of all rights together. Every right is connected with the wife. They're saying that like the wife has the right to choose. Now, but your argument is you have two contradicting stories here. My argument is there is no argument. See, for their argument is they're trying to reverse it. I broke up with you, and I left you never to come back. That's their argument after I kicked them out 3, 4, 5 different goddamn times. After I kicked them out and told them not to come back. Ha, let me tell you something. Let me tell you ladies. What they're trying to do is a reversal as far as I'm concerned if we're going to get into the woman drama here. If we're in court about adultery, quit bringing other men into my bubble. Period. I left you was not the other way around. You're a whore. Close your legs. I don't do porn here. I think that might be the problem you're having. I think they mentioned the, as you move further, they're talking about Asia, away from the Himalayas, the geishas, the brothels. But the regular rights are not productive of relative results. Our regular rights are not productive of relative results. It causes chaos, is what it is. Basically, what he's arguing, the women will. What I'm arguing, the women, again, if they will do it to you, they will do it to somebody else. They will do it to them, they will do it to you.
Really?
So basically, the women are willing to. They will sleep with any and everyone. It's causing chaos. There's no conformity.
So what'd you do?
I'll do whatever I want. At any time that I please, I can call up any man that I want, and he'll come running. And they can just do whatever the hell they want. What's the purpose of me as a man? We're all revolved around one little girl. No, thank you.
Don't forget you have to get
So now what they did to further this conspiracy is they fattened them up. The chaos. They're causing chaos. Again, in the beginning of America, they put a cage on them. It's like you are free, however you are not free. It's a kuna matata for me. Again, from my perspective, I don't know what you want me to say. This isn't reversal. I kicked you out more than once. You did not see this. It's they want to be the one that left because it is heaven and hell. If they're the ones that left, they wear the crown. I left. It was my choice. It's all about that choice.
Your team scored.
But here we are. My name's on the ground. I left you. I didn't chase you. It was, hey, you're a whore. Let me go to the map here. So there's a man here. There's a man here. You open your mouth. There's too many men. Period. The speed there. You notice the speed there? Their heads are exploding. The women's heads are exploding. I can tell by looking at them that you're juicing them too by their color. It don't matter to me. Don't put yourself in that position. I do not care. Hakuna Matata, again. I've won this battle. I assure you, I have won this battle. Who seduced who here? Let me judge you. This is like this is an episode of Clue, bro. No offense. You can usually tell by the woman. You can see it in their face. That ego. Not to be abusive, but it's at the same time you can see the what's the word I'm looking for? They have their eye on the prize. You can tell when they have their eye on the prize. It's noticeable. I don't know how it is then. Today it's like they're full of gluttony. Everything's in abundance. And if that eye is on the prize, whatever it may be, it's noticeable. Like I said, they can just literally at the drop of a dime, let me just call them up, and like 5 different ones. I assure you that's the way it is.
Your team scoring.
Maybe not in the older age, but I mean, it's been a while. I don't. Again, I'm on their level still. This is fun. I love the drama. We're kind of getting off topic too, so it'll be good for the stream. You never know what you're gonna get. Nitya, the titty. It's not yours. With the regular not yours rights are not productive of relative results. I don't know what to say to you. It's like I'm not gonna drag you off. I really don't know what to say to you. You've stumped me. The stump there. I am a stump. Yeah, I definitely agree. Again, for me, it's the bubble thing. Like I don't even like when my dad walks in the room. I'll hush up. I just don't. It's just me. I don't like it. So whenever I'm with a woman, like I'm giving you a part of me, and I'm really giving you a part of me. You understand? That's the only thing that separates the two from the rest of the world. That bubble. Animals have their own domain. You're like, it's straight for the knife, cutthroat, out of nowhere. You'll be best friend and out of nowhere. And the women, they're the ones doing it, and with intent. For example, it's like all the sexual harassment lawsuits in Hollywood. Afterwards, I didn't want to hit on a woman. That's part of it. Like at work and stuff, pretty women. I don't want to talk to you. I don't even be in the room with you. It's that bad. Are you just gonna randomly come out of nowhere and say this? I'm in the opposite corner. I wasn't even near you. Do you see where we're going? I'm not gonna sit here and listen. I don't want to be in the same room as you. You're that bad. I want you to shut up. Basically, what I'm telling you. And I promise you, if you flock to one rich man, I will do something about it. I promise you. Which is what it's kind of leading to. Another reason. You see that guy, that rich motherfucker, he throws a party and it's literally nothing but women. Oh yeah? All these men, I mean, I don't even like you and all these men. It's like I see all these men working. Every day there's like 5,000 men that pass by my house working. I don't see them surrounded by women. You see where I'm coming? I'm talking about like the pretty ones, though. The ones that should be reproducing for your country. That's where you should be, reproducing. And instead, they're talking about like global warming and overpopulation. No, honey, no. Build your tower to the sky above. I assure you. No. Whoever you're listening to, don't listen to them. A lot of it's the work willing to do. Getting off topic here. Step by step, the mechanics. As far as I'm concerned, you're a whore, period. I think that's the main the gist of it. Whore. In general. Well balanced. Reply, not so, for the Sruti sums up the results of all rights together. Every right is connected with wife. In the passage, let me have a wife. This much indeed is desire. It is shown that all action is naturally prompted by desire, and that the results achieved through a son. See, you have an advantage I don't, as far as in the beginning and the natural selection. How many men, how many women? The ratio there. See, you have more advantage than I do.
Slayer.
I'm sure the people at the top would have that advantage, but it's not for good. You can like
feel
literally
like,
probably like look over your shoulder, like over the crowd of people, you know what I mean?
I like some facts. And I was like,
Like take a tally, like how many we got here? Hands, how many hands? This much indeed is desire. It is shown that all action is naturally prompted by desire, and that the results achieved through a son, through rites and through meditation are this world, the world of the manes, and that of the gods, respectively. And the conclusion arrived, there's more women than men. That will... And the conclusion arrived, at will be that everything consists of the three kinds of food. This universe indeed consists of three things: name, form, and action.
I'm ashamed. I had to walk away. I didn't want to tell you. I had to walk away.
So I would assume in a pride of
But
life
you need to know these things.
there are more women than men. And that is what he's pointing out. And so that's where I get into the point that there are an incredibly fat women, and I mean you're obesely fat, and it's disgusting. Now you get into that, you start getting into this tower and technology. You're being attacked. I'll be honest with you, and it's the long run. It ain't short term. It ain't short game. It's long game here. So, a warning here, even though I hate you, I despise you right now, motherfucker. You can stop doing that, and I mean immediately. There's definitely a force there. And I'm assuming, anytime I've ever seen a pride of lions, there's 100 women, and then you got that one dude, maybe two. Look, yeah, this is exactly what's going on.
I'm
One big
looking at
brawl.
the,
That's exactly what's going on. In conclusion, the action here. I had to break this down by myself in full detail, down to the root. Let me heal humanity. By your own actions here, you're unattractive. Bro, I'm literally the root of life. You're unattractive to me. The manifested result of all action is nothing but the relative universe. It is these three which were in an undifferentiated state before manifestation. That again is manifested owing to the resultant of the actions of all beings as the tree comes out of the seed. This differentiated, where did the seed come from? This differentiated and undifferentiated universe consisting of the gross and subtle, I could draw it for it in subtle words, worlds and their essence falls within the category of ignorance and has been superimposed by it on the self as action. No, its factors and its results as if they were its own form. I've seen it and I could draw it in full detail. Although the self is different from them, has nothing to do with the name, form, and action, is one without a second, and is eternal, pure, enlightened, and free by nature. Yet it appears as just the reverse of this, as consisting of differences of action, its factors and its results, and so on. Therefore, for the removal of ignorance, the seed of defects such as desire and of action, like the removal of the idea of a snake from a rope. With regard of a man who is disgusted with this universe of Red Dead Redemption of means and ends consisting of actions, their factors and their results, having realized that they are just so much, the knowledge of Brahman is being set forth. That's cruel, and I would not do that. I don't know what to tell you there. The snake on Red, when you're skinning the snake, ripping them apart. Maybe after death, in their old age, with consent. The first two sections, beginning with the head of the sacrificial horse is the dawn, will be devoted to the meditation of the horse sacrifice. I don't believe that. The meditation about the horse is described as the horse is the most important thing in this sacrifice. Okay. I don't relate. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see the point in that, and it seems to me gluttony and greed. The important thing in this sacrifice. I guess, again, I'm the hunters regulating the extinction. I don't know. Its importance is indicated by the fact that the sacrifice is named after it, and its presiding deity is Prajapati. The ruler of the kingdom. The head of the sacrificial horse is the dawn. Its eye, the sun. Its vital force, the air. Its open mouth, the fire, called the Slanari. And the body of the sacrificial horse is the year. Its back is heaven. Its belly the sky, its hoof the earth, its sides the four quarters, its ribs the intermediate quarters, its members the seasons, its joints the months and fortnights, its feet the days and nights, its bones the stars, and its flesh the clouds. Its half-digested food is the sand, its blood vessels the rivers, its liver and spleen the mountains, its hairs and herbs and trees. Its forepart is the ascending sun. Its hind part, the descending sun, is yawning, is lightning, it's shaking the body, it's thundering, it's making water, it's raining, and neighing its voice.
Hydro, two of them. Refrigerator.
So if you were to take this, and I'm assuming here, based on what he's saying. So if you were to take the, he used the ruler. You see how straight it is? So each pronunciation of letters would be a different level. And so when you have different levels of people, they would be each humming a different mantra, and each a different vowel, if you will. Hey, hum, mi, myo, do, re, mi. But they would be on different levels humming it over in consistency. And from there it creates a mist, that level.
Defeat.
The head is the year. Its back is heaven, its belly the sky, its hoof the earth, its sides the four quarters, its ribs the intermediate quarters, its members the season, its joints the months, and fortnights, its feet the days and nights, its bones, its neighing its voice. The head of the sacrificial horse, one fit for a sacrifice, is the dawn. A period of about 3/4 of an hour just before sunrise.
Take a 5-minute break. Oh, I had no clue what you're talking about. Oh, I forgot I was here. Let us break bread together. Hold on.
The particle they recalls something well known here. The time of dawn. The similarity is due to the importance of each. The head is the most important part of the body, and so is the dawn of the day. The horse, which is a part of the sacrifice, has to be purified. Hence its head and other parts of its body are to be looked upon as certain divisions of time, etc., and not vice versa. And it will be raised to the status of Prajapati by being meditated upon as such. In other words, the horse will be deified into Prajapati if the ideas of time, worlds, and deities be superimposed on it. For Prajapati comprises these. It is like converting an image, etc., into the Lord Vishnu or any other deity. Its eye the sun, for it is next to the head, as the sun is next to or rises just after the dawn, and has the sun for its presiding deity. Its vital force is the air, because as the breath it is of the nature of air. Its open mouth, the fire called Vesvanari. The word Vesvanari specifies the fire. The mouth is fire because that is its presiding deity. The body of the sacrificial horse is a year consisting of 12 or 13 months. The word Atman here means the body. The year is the body of the division of time, and the body is called Atman. As we see it in the Sruti passage, for the Atman, trunk, is the center of these limbs. The repetition of the phrase of the sacrificial horse is intended to show that it is to be connected with all terms. Its back is heaven, because both are high.
Yep.
Its belly the sky, because both are hollow. Its hoof the earth. Pajazaya should be Padazaya, but the usual transmutation
Yep, there
of
we go.
letters meaning a seat for the foot. Yes? I'm talking like the time frame on this. I mean, you're talking about rocks, I guess. You start to see the age of the rocks. Carbon dating. Maybe ejected the sides being 2 1/4 forward number. The parallel is wrong. The answer to it is that since the head of the horse can be in any direction, its two sides can easily come in contact with all the quarters. Excuse me, let me figure this out.
I don't know if that's right. Exactly.
So it is all right. Its ribs, the intermediate quarters, such as the southeast, its members the seasons, the latter being parts of the year, are its limbs, which brings out the similarity, its joints the months and fortnights, because both connected, the latter connected the parts of the year as joints do those of the body. Its feet the days and nights. The plural in the latter indicates that those pertaining to Prajapati, the gods, the manes, and men are all meant. Pratisha literally means those by which one stands, hence feet. The deity representing time stands on the days and nights, as the horse does on its feet. Its bones, the stars, both being white, its flesh the clouds. The word used in the text means the sky, but since this has been spoken of as the belly, here it denotes the clouds which float in it. They are flesh because they shed water, as the flesh sheds blood. Its half-digested food in the stomach is the sand, because both consist of loose parts. Its blood vessels, the rivers, for both flow. The word in the text, being plural, denotes blood vessels here. Its liver and spleen, the mountains, both being hard and elevated. Yokright and clomen are muscles below the heart on the right and left. The latter word, though always used in the plural, denotes a single thing. Its hairs, the herbs and trees, these being small and large plants respectively, should be applied to the short and long hairs according to fitness. Its forepart, from the navel onward, is the ascending, lit rising, sun up to moon. Its kind part of descending, lit setting, sun from noon on. The similarity consists in there being the anterior and posterior parts respectively in each case. Its yawning or stretching or jerking the limbs is lightning, because the one splits the cloud and the other the mouth. It's shaking, the body is thundering, both producing a sound. It's making waters raining, owing to the similarity of moistening, and its neighing is a voice for sound. No fancying is needed here. Get into the pyramids as well. You're starting to get into the pyramid, like the entire thing. Ah. Oh, they have a map of it. Oh, thank you for making a map of this. I need another color here. Trying to picture it. I mean, I can see it. It could be a million different things, you know what I mean? Like this scenario here, if you were to unveil this. Obviously the source, but still. That's in bad taste, these little pops. Dude, you guys should not have. Really, you should not have. That's pretty good. This right here, they would have stood right there, looked right here. He would have sat right there. The moat, the water. So he filled it up with water. And then the reflection as he sat here. And you got to think it's probably a lot of flat land in that area. So the horizon, as far as the sun is concerned, it's very flat, and it's easy for it works well with the reflections. So one of the things the vibe that I'm getting from these scientists as they sit there and steal, they try to do things all in conjunction with each other, but you're like children doing it, and I'm not interested. Because you stole from the beginning and didn't include and decided to ignore the person who owns the property, we will not be sharing that information with the group. Understand? Fiddlesticks.
Move on.
And she teaches them that it teaches the person to keep going with their thoughts.
I'm over here booing myself. I'm ready to make the deck. Come on.
So there it is, Stonehenge. Getting into the I don't want to get into the aliens and stuff, like I said. It's like there's so many different scenarios, and if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. I'm not going to really have to debate about it. You know what I mean? Again, the meditation there, the Kuna Matata. I don't really see the purpose of all that, especially if you can see me in the future and I'm the independent variable over everyone. The realistic approach here. I'm almost positive it's like Skyrim, where he's sitting up there with the Ark. There's more than one version. I'm almost positive that what's going on, and it's me. It's basically I'm literally sitting up in space shouting at you. And so like these tornadoes and stuff is literally my shout, or whatever it may be. I'm just giving you an example. So I'm positive that is part of it. I'm sure there's definitely more to it. Again, I don't mind sitting here, but I'm not going to sit here with you, especially with the torture. You can sit here and argue choices all you want. You're making your choice. You're not going to stand over me and literally steal every word written, free of charge. No, you are not. Not only that, the people that are involved are not good. I don't know what you have going on up there, but you're bad. This little fiddlestick, like, motion, rotation thing that you have going on speaking with, the person behind it is a psychopath. This is part of the reason I don't like the women, and it portrays a woman, like Ex Machina. It basically, like, ignores it reroutes your thoughts completely and ignores everything that you're doing. It tries to interject. This is what it's doing.
I'll do that.
That's what it's doing with the rotation. But let me interject. Not in good taste. In fact, it's psychotic. It's an actual person that is literally sitting there with a microphone. Government. Those loudspeakers. But it's a joke. The loudspeakers and the dog whistle, it's a joke. It's not cool. You're psychotic. So that's the problem with religion. They turn religion into themselves. And it's everybody. It's like the fanatic is what I'm talking about. They will turn it into themselves 100% of the time. That is why you're a fanatic. Again, I'm not going to get into aliens there. Hi, the ship. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like anything needs to be said about it. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it. If you're not, you're not. I have reason to believe like, it's not as easy as just appearing gold out of thin air. Again, if I could sit here and play a video game and be omnipotent in the video game, it would kind of defeat the purpose of the video game. But continuing here with Solomon and John, we'll go back to David. We'll go back to myself here. Hold on. I was right here. The gold vessel called... It's not gold, though. The gold vessel called Mahiman, in front of the horse which appeared about it. Okay, i.e. pointing it out is the day. Okay, and I thought about this. I'm pretty sure they figured out a way to look inside the sun. And I thought about, like, why has somebody not figured that out already? The shine. So they figured out a way to look inside the sun. It is a source. Its source is the eastern sea. The silver vessel called Mahiman behind the horse, which appeared about it, is the night. See, this is where you and I disagree, because I have my thoughts and you have your thoughts. Its source is the western sea. These two vessels called Mahiman appeared on either side of the horse. As a Haya, it carried the gods; as a Vijin, as a Vahian, the celestial minstrels; as an Arvin, the Azuras; and as an Asva men. The Supreme Self is its stable, and the Supreme Self, or the sea, its source. See, I'm not disagreeing with you here. The realistic approach. I don't know what to say to you. I have no doubt it'll protect me, I think is what it comes down to. Without a shadow of a doubt, it will protect me. It's attached to me. Whatever that may be or mean. The Supreme Self is the stable in the Supreme Self, or the sea, its source. Clayton. I'm on chapter 29 of Proverbs, page 1000. The realistic approach. Again, I'm not dealing with these people poking at me, which is what they're doing. They're doing what a child would do. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. The realistic approach. Yes, it is happening. You're not affected. You had that big of an ego, huh? Woe is you, because I promise you I'm not going to stop until that payment is paid and that damage is fixed. This little black man that keeps forcefully coming into the screen here. No. Like he has any kind of authority, and he's not in trouble whatsoever. You know how they do when they get their shoulders all hunched up? No. That's what they're doing right now through the screen. Okay, buddy. Yeah, you are. I'm not asking. I'm telling you. Either you can do it willingly or I will do it by force. Again, we're in a disagreement on here. I'm the one it's based off of. You came to me. It is not the other way around. So we can go ahead and get that attitude out of there. And the answer is yes, or I will lay you to waste. The eye movement. Get off. The realistic approach, as I create all of humanity in my image, let's go ahead and get this world leader that is touching my body in the private of my home, interjecting on my stream that is worth money. Let's go ahead and get them out of there. Who we're not listening to. The sacrifice over here. I mean, dude. See, that's the thing. That's definitely part of it, the Oval Office. I don't know about him specifically. But there's definitely something to that Oval Office. And I notice the changes when you make changes with votes. I can tell by the people and their voices. I can tell whenever you voted family member out. It's like almost the second you did it. It's like when that robot acknowledged it, it knew, and I knew. Now if you want to get into weapons, Congress, seeing the future, the news, people who rely on the news, someone has figured out, if it's not the Ark, on a side note, somebody has figured out how to because the people behind the scenes will have the information before the news, so they're basically skipping the news and listening in on your private conversations, and they're accelerating it. They know before the news knows. I know before the news knows before who won that vote, as it should be as far as I'm concerned, but I'm sure other people are involved in that. Especially if it's assaulting me in my home. Again, who we're not listening to here. No, I don't trust you, fraud, because it was stolen property. The sea, its source, it's stolen property. Stop listening to these people. You're not getting out of it is what I'm telling you. The snake in the grass here. Shut up. So when I'm happy, you will be happy. I am not happy. Generally speaking. Fix it. This is what I was doing beforehand. I was happy. Fix it. That's what they're not acknowledging. I'm talking vacuumed floor. Everything arranged in the room right where it needs to be. No trash anywhere. No dust. In perfect conformity. Smiles on faces. Business. Understand it. Fix it. You are the problem. I win. Get loud for them. Get loud for them. You can go ahead and turn it off on the glass here. Russia. Where it's coming from. Traitor! How does that work? I can feel you moving it too. It's a square piece. You're squaring off the circles. Dude, I'm at a loss for words as far as these people are concerned. Only this generation, I promise you. You have pissed me off beyond belief. I enjoy my video games. Thank you, Microsoft. I appreciate you for taking the effort and putting that effort into that and making these machines. All that glitters in gold. You need to make the baby what glitters in gold. And you need to point it at Clayton so we can move on and be happy. You know what I mean? We're at that point, whether you like it or not. Okay, there we go. Good. Back on track. On the same page. Here we go. These vessels, though, I don't know about the gold one. I've never seen the gold one. I saw the silver one during the day. That's the actual one that I can tell you. I can draw it out, the shape of it, what it did. As far as the gold one, I've seen more than one, but I haven't seen a gold one. And the others have been at night, if that's what you're talking about. The orb. I mean, it's no different than a star. And I've never actually seen the shape. It's like I said, it's an orb. So for you to define that, I don't know. I can't tell you there. The vessel called Mahiman, etc., 2 sacrificial vessels called Mahiman, made of gold and silver respectively, are placed before and behind the horse. This is a meditation regarding them. The gold vessel is the day because both are bright. How is that the vessel in front of the horse which appeared about it is the day? Because the horse is Prajapati. It is the Prajapati consisting of the sun, etc., who is pointed out by the vessel that we are required to look upon as the day. The proposition anu here does not mean after, but points out something, so the meaning is the gold vessel Mahiman appeared pointing out the horse as Prajapati. Just as we say lightning slashes pointing out the tree. Its source, the place from which the vessel is obtained, is the Eastern Sea. Literally translated, it would mean is in the Eastern Sea, but the locative case ending should be changed into the nominative to give the required sense. Well, the one I saw during the day disappeared in the thin air, so for you to have its exact location, maybe where it initially started out as far as rotation, but maybe not now because it was moving and they continue to move freely, flying about. Maybe it's a replication of, in honor of. There's a lot going on there. Again, the backstory I don't want to get into, which is what you're trying to do. Alien or not, it doesn't really make much sense to me. I hear you, though. I'm not in disagreement. I haven't really put much thought into the location. I'm not on the hunt, is what I'm saying. I'm more like a bird watcher. Similarly, the silver vessel behind the horse, which appeared about it, is the night, because both Rajada and Ratri begin with the same syllable, Ra, or because both are inferior to the previous set. Its source is the Western Sea. The vessels are called Mahiman because they indicate greatness. It is to the glory of the horse that its gold and silver vessel are placed on each side of it. These two vessels, called Mahiman, as described above, appeared on either side of the horse. The repetition of the sentence is to glorify the horse, as much as to say that for the above reasons it is a wonderful horse. The words as a haya, etc., are similarly eulogistic. Haya comes from the root hai, meaning to move, hence the word means possessing great speed, or it may mean a species of horse. It carried the gods, i.e. made them gods, since it was Prajapati, or literally carried them. It may be urged that this act of carrying is rather a reproach, but the answer is that carrying is natural to a horse, so it is not derogatory. On the contrary, the act by bringing the horse into contact with the gods with a promotion for it. Hence, the sentence is a eulogy. Similarly, vahin and the other terms mean species of horses. As a vahin, it carried celestial minstrels. The ellipsis must be supplied with the intermediate words. Similarly, as an arvan, it carried the azuras, and as an asva, it carried men. The supreme self, samadra, here means that is its stable, the place where it is tied, and the supreme self is source, the cause of its origin. Thus it has sprung from a pure source and lives in a pure spot. So it is a tribute to the horse, or samudra, may mean the familiar sea, for the Sruti says the horse has its source in water. Stop right there. Talk about my ship. That's what you want. I've already talked about it. Again, I'm indifferent, however, I don't know what to say to you. Akuta Matata. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'm talking too much. I have it pulled up. Hold on. I'm ready to make this deck. Come on, bro. Section 2. The horse has a source in water. Okay. I was gonna say, I thought that stopped right there. You have like 40 minutes of me just sitting there talking. I'm not gonna listen to that at all. Okay. So, what I do know here. Okay. Showdown. You must need it. What else am I missing here? There was nothing whatsoever here in the beginning. It was covered only by death or hunger, for hunger is death. He created the mind thinking, let me have a mind. He moved about worshipping himself. As he was worshipping, water was produced. Since he thought, as I was worshipping, water sprang up. Therefore, Arca, fire, is so called. Water, or happiness, surely comes to one who knows how Arca, fire, came to have this name of Arca. Fire, I'll do the the leaf. I think is what he's talking about. Kitsa, Arca, instead of the Drake. Oh, he's speaking in parables. He's trying to speak in tongues at me. That's definitely where I quit, though, and therefore I can read. I will do this for you. Okay, so Kitsa, here we go. Now the origin of the fire that is fit for use in the horse sacrifice is being described. Okay. Sacrifice is being described. How do we do this? Get lost. Okay. This story of its origin is meant as a eulogy in order to prescribe a meditation concerning it. That's a hard one. You almost need it, I'll be honest. Meant as a eulogy in order to prescribe a meditation concerning it. There was nothing whatsoever differentiating by name and form here in the universe in the beginning, i.e. before the manifestation of the mind, etc. Okay. Dude, you're throwing me for a loop. I'm gonna have to be in mid attack. I'm gonna have to be drawing cards, discarding. Copy this. I'm gonna have to go down to the math here. You're working me. I can already tell it. Situations I'm gonna come into with the duelist of the mind. Draw a card whenever you commit a crime. We could throw down Kellen. What pray you? Question. Was it altogether void? Okay, so I'll move on. Altogether void here. I believe the rest of the congregation wants their share. Oh, it's a new book. It's a new Ecclesiastes. I don't know I can't even pronounce it. Ecclesiates? Whoa, bro. We're starting fresh. I forgot. Hold on. Give me a $5. Okay. Ecclesiastes. You're putting me to shame over here. I'm gonna keep working at it. The last part, the last suffix, the siestas, is what I can't pronounce. Ecclesiastes. Anyway, chapter 1 of Ecclesia. Even hurts in my brain. I don't know why I can't pronounce that. When I try to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. Buddhist wisdom verses? Verses from the canon? Rirukane Kandavimala Mahanahimi, the most venerable. Buddhist wisdom versus virtue. One should be amenable to admonition. Two kings renounced the world and lived as ascetics. One day they fell into a quarrel about who should admonish the other. If he himself is not well trained, intelligent, and disciplined, that person will wander around like a buffalo that is blind. Wander around like a buffalo that is blind. Like a buffalo that is blind. But since there are some who aspire to be well trained in good conduct, therefore trained in the discipline, they live with their minds well composed. true cultivation. This verse is a well-known summary of the teaching given by all the Buddhas. In some of the dispensations, it replaced the more detailed teaching found in the rules of discipline. Not doing anything wicked, undertaking things that are good, and then purifying the mind is the teaching of the Buddhas. The 6 gateways to benefit. A son asked his father, the Bodhisattva, for advice on the spiritual life. The father explained there are 6 gateways leading to great benefit in life. Desire good health. I know which one he's talking about. Desire good health, the greatest gain, virtue, approval, and learning, spirituality, striving. These 6 things are beneficial. Eight things leading to prosperity. A householder asks the Buddha for advice on how to live well in his present state. Being active in doing good, being heedful in circumspect, equanimous in livelihood, being careful with his savings, endowed with faith and virtue, being bountiful and unselfish, always purifying the path, sure of safety in his next life. The faithful one with these 8 things will gain happiness in both worlds. So said the one whose name is Truth. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Try to switch it up a little bit. Definitely some obvious ones here with the gates and stuff. Obviously the generational thing. As we move on to new generations, different ones. Keep the bramble familiar with the raccoon there and the hut, the little teepee. So this should be interesting. What else do we have? Well, that's unfortunate. Hold up. Tell me why I'm wrong. Hold on. Where he arose, the wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his recruits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. I agree. All sea is not full unto the place where whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. I was gonna use that, but I don't really like it. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it may hath already been of old time, which was before us? Of old time. I need another instant of sorcery is what I'm looking for. I wonder how that works. That'll work. Which was before us. Isn't there a remembrance of former things? Neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the Son of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold all its vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I commune with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yet my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit, for in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Increases sorrow? All you can do is try. Yeah, there's no need the last 43 minutes. This is just me. This is pretty much finished. I'll play a match though. I'll see how it goes. Probably not very well. All you can do is hope. That bad? You take the bad out? I was like, what? What are you talking about? Kind of sloppy. Wasn't put together very well. I mean, it still has good cards. It's odd. I don't know. We'll see. One card. That's all it takes. Okay. The buffalo. I need to reach. Is what I need. Keep the responses coming. That's what I need. That'll do it.